Ex-wife pays me alimony for payment. Now she's depressed. Hey, true story. My name is Tom, and I wanted to share my story with you because I've been watching your channel for a while, and hearing other men share what they've been through gave me the courage to finally write mine. It's been a long road, but I've come out on the other side stronger than I thought I would. If one man hears this and realizes he doesn't have to put up with being disrespected, then I've done my job. Let me take it from the very beginning so you can understand how I ended up where I am today, collecting alimony from my ex-wife while she sits in her house depressed, wondering how the tables turned on her, how we met. I met my ex-wife back when I was working at a small auto shop. I was doing side work there to pick up some extra cash between roofing jobs. She pulled in one afternoon in this shiny white SUV, clean, polished, not a speck of dust on it. She was dressed in a business outfit, hair perfectly done, nails perfect. You could tell right away she wasn't hurting for money. She told me her car was making some noise and I offered to take a look. While I was checking under the hood, she started chatting me up. I wasn't used to women like that giving me much attention. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've never had trouble getting dates, but she carried herself like she was out of my league. She was confident, sharp, professional. She laughed at my jokes, leaned in close when we talked, and at one point she said, "So, are you single?" That was it. That was how it started. She made the first move. A week later, we were having dinner together. A month later, we were spending nights together. Within a year, we were married. At the time, I thought I had won the lottery. Here was this successful woman. She was a mortgage broker, pulling in more money than I could dream of, and she wanted me. I was proud of myself. I thought, damn, I must be doing something right. Early years of marriage. The first couple of years were good, I'll admit. She liked the fact that I was a blue-collar guy. She told me it made her feel balanced, like I kept her grounded. I liked that she had her life together and was ambitious. We complemented each other, or so I thought. We didn't have kids. She said she wanted to wait, and honestly, I didn't push. We rented for a while before she bought a house in her own name. That should have been a red flag, but I brushed it off. She said it made more sense for her financially, and since she was the one with the income to support it, I agreed. That's another thing. She was always the breadwinner. My roofing work paid the bills, but her mortgage deals brought in the big checks. She'd talk about closing a $10,000 commission while I was sweating in the sun, patching roofs for a fraction of that. I didn't resent her for it, though, not at first. I thought we were a team, that her success was my success too. But slowly, little cracks started to show. Subtle disrespect. It wasn't loud, it wasn't obvious, but I started noticing how she'd make little comments. If I said I was tired from a long day, she'd roll her eyes and say, "Try dealing with clients all day and then come home to paperwork." If I wanted to spend money on something small for myself, she'd say, "Do you really think that's a smart financial move?" Meanwhile, she was dropping hundreds on spa days and designer clothes. I started realizing she looked at me differently. She never said it outright, but it was in her tone, in the way she carried herself. She saw herself as above me because she was the one bringing in the bigger paycheck. I brushed it off because I loved her. I told myself marriage isn't about who makes more money, but in her eyes, it was. The affair. Fast forward a few years into the marriage, and this is where everything changed. I started noticing she was glued to her phone more than usual. She'd smile at her screen, put it face down when I walked into the room, or take calls outside on the porch. At first, I didn't want to believe it, but my gut kept telling me something was off. One night, she fell asleep with her phone unlocked next to her. I know some people will say it's wrong, but I picked it up. I had to know. That's when I saw the messages. She was talking to some TikTok fitness guy. I didn't even know who he was until I Googled him. This dude had hundreds of thousands of followers, posting workout videos and thirst traps. And there she was in his DMs, giggling like a schoolgirl. It started with him replying to one of her comments. Then he slid into her DMs. Then it turned into flirty messages, then pictures. And from the looks of it, they had met up at least once. My stomach dropped. I felt like someone punched me in the gut. This wasn't just random flirting. This was a full-on affair. How I played it. Now I could have blown up right there. I could have confronted her, yelled, thrown her stuff out. But I didn't. Something in me told me to stay quiet. I kept my cool. I acted normal around her. Inside, I was broken. But outside, I played the role of the clueless husband. The reason? I knew if she realized I knew, she might try to move money around, hide assets, or prepare herself for divorce. I couldn't let that happen. So, behind her back, I found a lawyer. I explained everything to him. How she was the breadwinner, how she cheated, how we had no kids. My lawyer's eyes lit up. He told me, "Tom, if you play this right, not only can you get out clean, but you can get her to pay you." That was music to my ears, serving her papers. Once everything was lined up, I had her served. I'll never forget the look on her face. She came home one evening and a process server was waiting. She opened the envelope and her face went pale. She turned to me, tears in her eyes, and said, "You knew?" I didn't even answer. I just looked at her. That silence said everything. She broke down right there in the kitchen, begging me not to go through with it. She admitted to everything, that the TikTok guy slid into her DMs, that she felt weak, that she thought she needed something exciting. She tried to justify it by saying being the breadwinner made her resent me, made her look down on me, and that she wanted to feel feminine again. Can you believe that? She blamed me for her own decision to cheat, but it was too late. I wasn't hearing it. I went no contact from that point forward. I let my lawyer handle everything. The divorce outcome. Because she was the breadwinner, because we had no kids, and because my lawyer was sharp, she ended up having to pay me alimony. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was enough to make a point. She got to keep the house and I moved out, but she was writing me checks every month. And man, you could tell it ate her alive. She even called me once after the divorce was finalized, saying, "I can't believe I'm paying you." She admitted it hurt her pride more than anything. She also admitted she was shocked I knew about the cheating. She thought she was being slick. That phone call was the last time we spoke. Where things stand now. I heard through mutual friends that she's depressed. She's still in that house by herself, still working as a mortgage broker, but apparently she's bitter and angry all the time. She tells people she regrets what she did, but at the same time, she can't stand having to send me money. As for me, I'm doing just fine. I'm back to roofing, I've got my own apartment, and I'm at peace. I'm not living lavishly, but I sleep good at night knowing I walked away with my dignity intact, and a monthly check from the woman who thought she was too good for me. My reflection. Here's the lesson I learned, true story. Never ignore the signs of disrespect. When she started looking down on me because of money, I should have seen where it was headed. Play it smart. If you catch a cheater, don't blow up right away. Get your ducks in a row. Protect yourself legally. No contact is key. Once I cut her off, I healed faster. Letting her cry and plead wasn't going to change the fact she cheated. Tables turn. She thought she was untouchable because she made more money. Now she's writing me checks. Life has a funny way of humbling people, so that's my story. I hope some guy out there listening realizes that even if you're not the breadwinner, even if you feel like the underdog in your marriage, you still have value. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Thanks for letting me share. True story. Update: ex-wife pays me alimony for payment. Now she's unemployed and miserable. Hey, true story. It's Tom again. You read my first email not too long ago about how I caught my ex-wife cheating with that TikTok fitness clown, how I quietly got a lawyer. served her papers, and ended up with her paying me alimony, even though she was always the breadwinner. I wanted to write you back because a lot has happened since then, and man, if I thought her life was headed downhill before, I had no idea how far she was going to fall. This isn't me gloating, even though it might sound like it sometimes. I'll be honest, yeah, there's some satisfaction in knowing karma came around, but at the same time, watching someone who once thought they were better than you hit rock bottom is a strange feeling. It's part vindication, part pity, and part reminder to never let yourself get too comfortable because life can flip in an instant. Let me walk you through everything that's happened since the divorce and how my ex, this woman who used to strut around like she was untouchable, has ended up in absolute shambles. Life after divorce. When the divorce was finalized, I was honestly just relieved. I had gone no contact with her, moved into my own apartment, and went back to living life on my terms. Roofing work kept me busy, and the alimony checks she sent each month were this quiet little victory for me. Every time I cashed one, I'd shake my head thinking, she thought she was too good for me, and now she's paying me. She, on the other hand, did not take it well. Mutual friends told me she'd complain all the time about having to write those checks. She'd say things like, I can't believe he is living off my money, as if she hadn't been the one to cheat and throw away the marriage. Still, she managed to keep her mortgage broker job and her house for a while. So as bitter as she was still holding on to her lifestyle. That didn't last. The job loss. The first domino to fall was her job. One day I get a call from a buddy who used to work in real estate circles with her. He says, hey man, you're not going to believe this, but your ex just got let go from her firm. At first, I didn't know what to think. She'd been working for that mortgage company for almost a decade. She was one of their top producers for years. But then the housing market shifted, interest rates shot up, and deals started drying out. The company downsized, and guess whose position they cut? She went from closing six-figure deals and walking around like a queen to unemployed overnight. And here's the kicker. She still owed me alimony. My lawyer had locked that in tight, and just because she lost her job didn't mean her obligation disappeared. From what I hear, that's when the spiral really started. The house that owns her. Remember how she bought that house in her own name during our marriage? She thought it was a power move back then. Well, now that house is eating her alive. She had a big mortgage, property taxes, upkeep, all things she could handle when commissions were rolling in. But now, with no steady income, that house turned into a financial anchor, dragging her straight to the bottom. Friends told me she tried to refinance, tried to work with the bank, even tried to pick up part-time gigs to keep up, but it wasn't enough. The same woman who once made fun of me for just being a roofer was now scrambling to pay bills while still sending me checks every month. It was poetic in a sad way. Depression setting in. Here's where it gets darker. A mutual friend ran into her at the grocery store a few months after she lost the job. He said she looked nothing like the woman I married. She used to be put together 24/7, hair perfect, nails done, expensive outfits, the whole 9 yards. But when he saw her, she was in sweatpants, hair unwashed, eyes puffy like she'd been crying. He said she looked broken. Apparently, she admitted to him that she's been struggling with depression. She spends most of her days at home, barely leaving the house except when necessary. The TikTok guy she cheated with, long gone. He never took her seriously, just used her for a quick fling. And now that she's older and unemployed, he's chasing women half her age. She's alone in that big house, drowning in bills and realizing she destroyed her marriage for nothing. The phone call. Even though I'd gone no contact, she broke the silence one night. Out of nowhere, I get a call from an unfamiliar number. Against my better judgment, I answered, and sure enough, it was her. Her voice was shaky. She said, "Tom, I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but I just need to talk. I didn't say much. I let her speak. She went on about how hard things have been. She admitted she lost her job, admitted she's struggling with depression, admitted she regrets everything. She even said, I can't believe I threw away my marriage for some guy who didn't even want me. And now I'm paying the price every single day. I stayed quiet. There was nothing for me to say. Then she said something that stuck with me. The worst part isn't the house or the job. The worst part is sending you money every month. Every time I write that check, it's like a reminder of how bad I messed up. That was the last time we spoke. Rock bottom. From that point forward, things only got worse for her. She fell behind on her mortgage. I heard she started selling furniture and personal items just to stay afloat. Her once proud, spotless home started looking run down. Neighbors said her yard grew over, mail piled up, and she barely came outside. And then the final blow came. Foreclosure. She lost the house she was so proud of. The house she used to hold over me as proof that she was above me. Gone. She had to move into a small apartment across town. From queen of the castle to a one-bedroom unit in a rundown building. I wish I could tell you she learned her lesson gracefully, but from what I hear, she's bitter. She blames the company that fired her, blames the TikTok guy for using her, blames me for the alimony. The only person she doesn't blame is herself. My life now. As for me, I'm doing better than I ever thought I would. Roofing work is steady, I've got a good group of buddies around me, and I'm focusing on taking care of myself. The alimony checks don't come from her directly anymore. They're processed through the court now, but they still show up. Even if the amount gets adjusted because of her financial situation, the principle remains. She's paying me. More importantly, I've got peace of mind. I don't have to deal with her moods, her disrespect, her looking down on me. I'm free. And when I look back, I realize something. Her downfall isn't just about money. It's about pride. She built her whole identity on being the successful breadwinner. And when that collapsed, she had nothing left. The lesson. So here's my takeaway for any men listening. Don't ever think your worth is tied to someone else's income. She thought making more money made her better, but at the end of the day, character matters more than paychecks. Cheating always backfires. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. She lost everything, her marriage, her career stability, her home, because she chased temporary excitement. Play it smart. If your partner cheats, don't react emotionally. Protect yourself legally and financially. I wouldn't be in the position I am today if I hadn't kept my cool. Karma is real. It might take time, but it comes around. I didn't have to lift a finger to ruin her life. She did that herself. So that's the update true story. My ex-wife went from the breadwinner with the big house and high-paying job to a depressed, unemployed woman in a one-bedroom apartment, still cutting me checks every month. Meanwhile, I'm living peacefully, moving forward, and thankful every day that I trusted my instincts when I caught her cheating. Thanks for letting me share again. Hopefully this helps another man out there realize that even when you feel powerless, you might have more control than you think.